The sun was setting over the Indian subcontinent as the Indian Air Force prepared for what seemed to be a routine patrol. Pilots Vikas, Arjun, and Seema were entrusted with flying 3 state-of-the-art Rafale fighters, known globally for their prowess among the 4th-generation aircraft. These crafts, each costing a staggering $250 million, were equipped with the latest in aerial combat technology, and were expected to dominate any opponent they encountered. As the pilots ascended into the sky, they felt an overwhelming sense of confidence. The Rafales were not just machines, they were masterpieces. However, as they crossed into their designated patrol zone, a sudden alert echoed in their helmets. 3 Pakistani J-10CE fighters had entered Indian airspace. Pakistan's J-10CEs were respected but not feared. They were considered by many as a notch below the French-made Rafales. However, today was different. Unknown to the Indian pilots, Pakistan's J-10CEs had recently been upgraded with China's latest PL-15E missile system and the groundbreaking combat cloud technology. This equipment transformed their fighters into formidable opponents. As the skirmish began, it quickly became apparent that things were not going as expected for the Indians. The PL-15E missiles, known for their long-range capabilities, allowed the J-10CEs to lock onto the Rafales well beyond visual range. A matter of seconds felt like hours, but the Rafale pilots were determined to show their mettle. However, the game was not solely about missiles, it was also about information. The combat cloud system enabled Pakistani fighters to share real-time data, analyzing the Rafales' trajectories and predicting movements with terrifying efficiency, effectively treating the adversary as live targets unable to hide. With twists of fate and mastery of new age tech, the tide turned against the pilots Vikas, Arjun, and Seema. They battled bravely, but the cloud-based coordination and long-range weaponry proved decisive. The combat lasted a mere 2 hours, but it left the Indian Air Force astonished and strategists scrambling for answers. How did these advanced Rafales become vulnerable targets? Was it merely a technology gap, or was it a matter of superior tactics? As the dust settled, questions arose regarding future confrontations. Was this just the beginning of a shift in air dominance? It was a lesson learned. Adversaries would continually adapt, and technology could tip the scales in ways unimagined before. The skies above disputed borders would remain fraught with uncertainty as nations raced to harness the next wave of military technology.